Morning, everyone. Just wanted to go ahead and get in early in case anybody was waiting. It looks like you already were, so we'll give it a couple more minutes and get this thing started a little after 10. Thank you.
Okay. Let's see. Get my camera on.
Morning, boss.
Oh, right.
There
I
you
got a
go.
camera.
There you go. While we wait on the others, I'm just gonna go ahead and mute until 10
Okay.
comes closer.
Yeah, we've got still a few minutes.
That's okay. I'm happy for it, though. Here's the thing, I knew it was coming.
Looks like you gonna let him in?
Yeah, I think I accepted that.
Okay. I said, hey, the one up that part, and they're both like.
Morning, Jerry.
Hello, Judy.
Hello, how are you guys?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Before we get started, if you would, all the folks that are already here, go ahead and put your contact information in the chat, your name and your organization, please, just so we have a record. and I'll go ahead and make this announcement again once we get started. We're going to give it a couple more minutes, wait for some more folks to get here, and then we'll get going. Thank you. Gary, I wore this sweatshirt just for you, so you should feel special.
Yeah, she must have her mic off. She'd be mouthing already.
Oh, it's actually on.
Oops.
Oops.
Hi, Jerry.
Morning, Mark.
So the clock just turned 10. We'll go ahead and give folks a couple minutes, maybe a minute or two, and then we'll go ahead and get started again. If you missed the announcement, please just put your name and contact information in the chat so we can have a record of who is joining us, and we'll get started here in a second.
Vonda.
Hi, Mark.
How are you, Vonda?
I'm doing well.
Yeah.
I got in and I heard Vonda and I thought, oh
Yeah,
man, Mark's already said something.
Yeah. Well, good to see you.
It's good to see you. That's why I jumped on.
Good. I just got a camera a few days ago because I could never get the laptop to work properly. Hello, Jackie Long.
Hi, Jackie.
All right, boss, it is 10:02. Do you want to go ahead and get started?
Sure, I think we can.
All right. Looks like we got enough for a quorum. So good morning, everyone. My name is Cole Sutton. I am working with Mr. Williams here under the Kentucky Department for Local Government. Going to be hosting this public hearing on our 2024 Recovery Housing Program public hearing, going over our guidelines on our action plan. If you missed the first announcement this morning while we were getting started, if you could, please put your contact information in the chat so we can have a record of that for HUD. The chat is open, so if you do have any questions, please feel free to jot anything that you can think of down. I will share Mark and my email in the chat as well in case you think of something later. You can have our contact and send us an email whenever you like. This is being recorded and transcribed per HUD guidelines. Just so if you see the recording symbol there, that is why. But without further ado, I'll go ahead and hand it over to Mr. Williams. I will go ahead and mute everyone while Mr. Williams is giving the presentation and discussing the action plan and the guidelines. So when the time comes, if you do have a question, please raise your hand and then I will call on you and you can unmute at that point. All right, Mark, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. And Vonda, remember the Mr. Williams thing, okay? Anyway, good morning. We are in the fourth year now of the HUD's Recovery Housing Program pilot project. We've had some great success so far, and I just want to go over the guidelines and some of the basic eligible activities and give you a little idea how this works, especially if this is the first time you've ever applying for CDBG type funds or RHP funds from us. Hopefully we'll give you some good ideas of what needs to be done. But the pilot program was is established to help individuals in recovery from a substance abuse disorder become stably housed, and they refer to the Recovery Housing Program. We have, with all HUD funds, there is a national objective that we have to meet, and this is under the limited clientele national objective. So no matter what type of facility, if you do a new construction, if you do rental assistance, provide water, sewer, anything, 51% of the individuals that receive aid from the Recovery Housing Project Program funding have to be low, moderate income. And every, all your cities and counties have income limits, and they'll be checked when they come into your facility. So this, whoever gets this project on intake, you will have to have income surveys, and depending on if you have any other federal funds, you'll be responsible to prove to us that 51% of the people were low, moderate income individuals, and that's typically not very hard to do in the recovery housing programs. Eligible subrecipients, nonprofits, for-profit, nonprofits, for-profit, private and public nonprofit organizations, and any city or county in the state. These funds, typically CDBG couldn't provide assistance in Lexington or Louisville, but we can with the recovery housing funds. They can go anywhere. And be a nonprofit organization for this program, public and private nonprofit organizations must be exempt from taxation. Section C of the 501c3, have an accounting system, a voluntary board, actively engaged in recovery housing efforts in Kentucky, or previously engaged in recovering housing efforts in Kentucky. You have to practice non-discrimination in the provision of assistance. Assistance may be provided to primarily religious organizations that agree to provide all eligible activities in a manner that is free from any religious influence. The types of applications, we can do individual application. Basically, we'd like to have them electronically, and we have a pre-submission process that I'll get to in just a minute, but the nonprofit can apply, or a city or county can apply on behalf of a nonprofit. This year, Kentucky's allocation is 1501532. This is actually for the 2024 allocation. Minus our admin, that means we'd have $1,456,486 to disperse. Now, there's no minimum requirement, and there's no maximum requirement. If you want to apply for all of that, you may, part of it, pieces of it, whatever you feel you need. You do have to have citizen participation plan, which means before you submit the pre-submission, you'll have to have a public hearing like we're doing right now, 7 to 15 days before you put anything in the newspaper, which includes a detailed description of the project, the amount of RHP funds expected, the amount, and just a good general description so that you're not going to displacement of anyone in particular. And I'd like to say this now, that these can be very complicated applications and complicated to manage. I would suggest You reach out to one of your local area development districts, or there are a few people on here that we are highly recommended, Vonda's crew and Jerry's crew, but you need someone familiar with CDBG program guidelines to help you out. And there are plenty around. And if you want to send me an email I can let you know, depending on where you live, who's available. But you'll have to hold first public hearings. Then you'll need to hold a public hearing at closeout. You'll have an e-clearinghouse review. If you're not familiar with this, that's something that needs to be done up front. We have the pre-sub application on our webpage, and Cole will share that. And let me basically I'll go over some of the eligible activities, and then we can take any questions you may have. These eligible activities are basically community development block grant housing activities, with one exception. Public facilities and improvements, which means that you can acquire, construction, reconstruction, rehabilitation, or installation of public facilities improvements for the purpose of providing stable temporary housing. Typically, that means water and sewer to us, but it could mean other things as well. You can acquire property for the purpose of providing stable housing. You can request for lease, rent, and utilities. And now, Cole, thank you, Cole. And it's not limited to 15% of the grant. The regular CDBG program doesn't allow us to do certain public service type activities that take up more than 50% of our annual allocation. But the payments must be made to the provider, such as a landlord or a utility provider. Payments not be made directly to individuals. Lease, rent, and utilities continued. This can't, if the city is right now has a recovery housing center building, RHP funds can't be used to replace that funding. For example, let the city leave out of it and the federal government step in. So it has to be new or a real increase in your population. Which it says here, payments must result in either a new or expanded service. For example, if you're already running one recovery housing, you want to add 10 rooms, we could do that. And only the new clients that come into your facility are eligible. If you're already running a facility and you ask us for lease assistance, that assistance can't be provided to anyone who's already been there. There will be all the new clients that are coming into your facility. We could go with traditional tenant-based rental assistant or a master lease model, which I'm not that familiar with as a real estate. Vonda probably knows, and Jerry. Rehab and reconstruction, single unit, multi-unit public housing. We've got a few of those ongoing, and I'll give some examples later. The new one, okay, disposition of property. You can sell, lease, or donate otherwise property acquired with RHP funds for the purpose of providing stable housing. Clearance and demolition. You can take an old building down that's of an urgent, that is in terrible condition, you can demolish, remove it, buy the site, and rebuild on it. And the eligibility is limited to projects where RHP funds are used only for the clearance and demolition. Relocation, if you have anyone, if you are operating a facility right now and then you want to rehab it to add additional rooms, and you have to move some people temporarily out of that building and house them somewhere else, we can give you payments to make that possible. And this is the biggest change, new construction of housing in the regular CDBG program. We can help nonprofits do new construction of housing, but it's not actually eligible in the regular CDBG. But right now you can, and at the moment there's a group in Louisville, Haven Ministries, that have had a vacant lot, and they're putting a new building on there right now to hold, I think, eight clients, 4 beds, 2 baths. That's it. Okay. Now this makes everything a little bit difficult. 30% of the funds must be expended within 1 year of the grant agreement with HUD. Now that doesn't mean that your organization has to expend 30%. It means that if we get 1.5 million, 30% of that has to be expended by the group of applicants within 1 year. So this means that a lot of people requested rental assistance, and we've provided rental assistance in the past, but please remember that we have to have some construction projects involved, because rental assistance, in our experience, takes much longer than it would take to spend 30% of these funds within a year. To date, that's been our experience. So hopefully we have some people that want some construction or rehab projects coming soon. That was a kind of a hectic and brief description of the program. Let's take some questions. I'm sure I missed something if anyone has any. And the application, the pre-submission application is on our webpage. And we'll start accepting applications from January 1 up through the 1st of June. So that will give you plenty of time. The pre-submission holds 90% of the information. If you get invited to apply, it won't take you very long to finish up the application. So we're giving you 6 months to put the initial pre-submission together. Okay. And again, you new people that haven't been involved in this before, please feel free to reach out to me, Cole. Go to your local area development districts, go to any organizations in your area. He's done projects, and we have contractors in northern Kentucky. There are many options. But
Ms. Harrigan, I think you have a question. You can go ahead and unmute yourself and ask that question.
Thank you. And I am new to this. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I have to be invited to submit an application. Does that mean I fill out the pre-submission form and then you let me know whether I can submit an application?
Right. Now the pre-submission is lengthy, and again, it's got 90% of the information we need. But yeah, the pre-submission will be submitted. We'll review that, and we'll get some help from our housing staff here as well. And then we'll be invited to apply, send in a full application.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm. There are many different models out there too. So if you come up with an idea that hasn't been presented, if you want to reach out to me, I'll reach out to HUD and we'll get a fairly vague answer, and then we'll have to go and do it on our own. But really, this is just an initial public hearing to inform everyone what's going on. And if you have
Yeah.
any problems, give us a call.
We have a Miss Jerry Dyer, I believe, that has a question if she wants to unmute.
I don't know. Yeah. Can you keep her muted?
No.
Okay.
Thanks, guys. For affordability periods, what model do you follow? I don't remember off the top of my head. So like if it's new construction, how many years does it need to be in service? If it's acquisition, how many years does it need to be in service?
Well, what's regular? It'd be the same as regular CDBG. Okay. And I don't know that right off the top of my head. But it'll, we'll see how Travis and Kathy do theirs. I think we talked 10 years or so. I'm not sure, maybe 5. I have to look that up, Jerry.
Okay, thanks.
Mute her, Cole. Mute her hard.
Anyone else have any questions?
Okay. Well, if Wanda doesn't have any, then we're good to go, I guess. But thank you, everyone, and good luck. Please, once again, reach out if you have any questions. Good luck to everyone. I hope we can get you some assistance.
Thank you all. Y'all have a nice day.
Thank you. Bye.
Mr. Williams.